Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sakana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण। So we will continue our session from where we left, that is the seventh chapter of the third canto, sloka number 21. Shishtva mahadadini savikharani anukramat tebhyo virajamudritya tam anupravishad vibhuhu. After creating the total material energy, the Mahatattva, and thereby manifesting the gigantic universal form with senses and sense organs, the Supreme Lord entered within it. Purport. Fully satisfied by the answers of the sage Maitreya, Vidura wanted to understand the remaining portions of the creative function of the Lord, and he took the clue from the previous topics. Text 22. Yam Mahuradhyam Purusham Sahasragri Urub Bhafukam Yatra Vishvayime Lokah Sa Vikasham Tad Asate. The Purusha incarnation lying on the causal ocean is called the original Purusha in the material creations, and in his Virata form, in whom all the planets are and their inhabitants live, he has many thousands of legs and hands. So this is the description of the Virata Purusha, like it is mentioned, the causal ocean or Karana. No, causal ocean means Karana, ocean, or Karana Udakashai. So that is Karana Udakashai Vishnu or Mahavishnu. So the that is the original Purusha. From him comes the Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and from him comes Shirodakashai Vishnu. So in this way, no, Karanodakashai Vishnu is the original Purusha. All three are called as Purusha, but then he is called the original Purusha. So the first Purusha is Karnodakshai Vishnu, the second Purusha is Garbhodakashai Vishnu, and the third Purusha is Shirodakashai Vishnu, in whom is contemplated the Virata Purusha, the gigantic form in which all planets with their different developments and inhabitants are floating. Okay. Text 23. Yasmin dasha vida prana sindriyarthendriyastrivat tvayeritho yato varnas tadvibhutir vadashvanaha. O great Brahmana, you have told me that the gigantic Virat form and his senses, sense objects, and 10 kinds of life air exist with three kinds of vigor, three kinds of life vigor. Now, if you will kindly explain to me the different powers of the specific divisions. Okay. Yatra putraischa naptribihi saha gotraihi praja vichitra kritya asanyabiridam tatam. Oh my Lord, I think that the process manifest in the forms of sons, grandsons, and family members has spread all over the universe in different varieties and species. Okay, so here we see that yatra putraischa pautraischa. So putra means like the sons, and the pautra means grandsons, and then it is mentioned in saha gotraihi. So Saha Gotra Jaihi. So that means the same family. Gotra means family, and our family lineage. All of us, when we go to the temples, like we mention our Gotra. So what is this Gotra is all about? So Gotra is all about the original creation when it started. It started with the Manu Maharaj, and then Daksha, and then the Sapta Rishis. So generally, like Gotra is cited from the Sapta Rishis. No, one of the rishis the names Bharadwaja Gotra, like that. No, we have different Gotras. So this is from the origin of the creation. So from there, the families are starting. So which family we belong to? No, from there. So the root is understood. So then, from there, in every generation, they keep maintaining this Gotra, this one, and people get to know their Gotra. It's because of the connection to the original creators, the original Prajapatis, right? So from there, the Gotra concept actually comes. And here we see that when the creation is done, so then the initial set of progeny is created, and from them comes the all sons and grandsons and things like that. The whole universe gets filled with different varieties of species, not only human beings. For example, if we see this Kashyapa had, I think it's Kashyapa, had many different wives. So, like from Kadru, we get the this one of the snakes, and then the Vinita. From there, like we get the this one of birds, and we see that Garuda Dev is son of Vinita, so that's why he's sometimes his name is called as Vainiteya or something like that. No, he's mentioned in some slokas of Bhagavatam. We can actually see. So like this, we see all the different species have come from these Prajapatis, the original Prajapatis who were created by Lord Brahma. So Brahma is the one entity, and he creates no further Prajapatis, and from them comes like Putra, Pautra, and the whole universe gets filled with population in that way, right? So, ठीक So text 25. Prajapatinam sa patis chakliphe khan prajapatin sargams chaivanu sargams cha manun manvantaradipan. Okay, O learned Brahmana, please describe how the leaders of all the demigods, namely the namely the Prajapati Brahma, decided to establish the various Manus, the heads of the ages. Please describe the Manus also, and please describe the descendants of those Manus. Right. So here we see that this is here. It's nicely mentioned that Prajapati Nam Sapati, the Prajapatis are mentioned as like of the demigods like Brahma and others. Sahashi Patihi, the leader, and how these leaders are decided upon. And then here we see Sargan, Cha Eva Anusargan. So generations and later generations. So we see the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Atra Sarga Visargascha Sthanam Poshanam Utaya Manvantareshanukata Nirodha Muktirashraya. So this is the 10 different subject matters that are dealt with in this Mahapuran, like Bhagavad Mahapuran. So in this way, these are all some of the aspects that are needed to be covered in an in a proper construction of a Puran, and that is when it becomes qualified. So we see that Sarga is the primary creation that is done by the Lord. So that is covered nicely. So many times we have seen in this first, second, and third canto, we have seen like how the subtle elements come, and then from there the gross elements manifest and things like that. So that is the portion of the creation done by the Supreme Lord. So that doesn't have Brahma doesn't have any control over that creation. So that kind of creation is called Sarga. And then the secondary creation that is done by Brahma is called Visarga. So like this, the Prajapatis create further population, and they create further population, and like various Manus are decided and they are established and things like that. So these are all secondary creation, Visarga. So that's what we can see, that Sargan, Anusargan means like here the generations or the creation that is happening. So this is also part of the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. right? So Sarga and Visarga. Okay, purport. The human race or Manushya Sara, descendants from the Manus, sons and grandsons of the Prajapati Brahma. So the descendants of Manu reside in all different planets and rule all the universe. So now we see that this word Manushya is come from the word Manu. And in the English word man also comes from this word Manu only. So it has its root here. Okay, 26. उपर्यदश्च उपर्यदश्च ये लोका भूमेर्मित्रात्मजात्सते तेषां समस्तां परमाणं परमाणं च भूलोकस्य च वर्णय. O son of Mitra, kindly describe how the planets are situated above the earth as well as underneath it, and also please mention their measurements as well as that of the earthly planets. So he is asking about the universal structure. So we will see that in the fifth canto in great detail, the universal structure. Purport. Yasmin Vijnate Sarvam Evam Vijnatam Bhavati. Mundaka Upanishad 1.3. This Vedic hymn declares emphatically that the devotee of the Lord knows everything material and spiritual in relationship with the Lord. Devotees are not simply emotional, as is ill conceived by certain less intelligent men. Their direction is practical. They know everything that is and all the detail of the Lord's domination over the different creation. Okay, text 27. Triyanmanusha Devanam Shri Sarispra Patat uh, Patat पतत्रिणां सरिस्प्रपतत्रिणां वदनः सर्ग संव्यूहं गर्भसे स्वेद द्विजोभिधाम्. Also, please describe the living beings under different classifications: subhumans, humans, those born of embryo, those born of perspiration, those who are twice born. Here, birds are also called as twice born. So, like they are also called as Dvija because first birth for them happens when the egg is laid, and then the second birth happens when the egg hatches. So they are also called as Dvija. So even the Brahmanas are also called as Dvija. So means basically like Andaja, or those which are born out of eggs. No, they are also called as Dvija. Okay. So and the plants and vegetables. Kindly describe their generation, subdivisions, and also. So that means like practically the entire creation, entire population, how it came about. He is asking about. So all the different kinds of living entities. गुणावतारैर्विश्वस्य सर्गस्थि अप अप्ययाश आश्रयं सृजतः श्रीनिवासस्य वाचक वाचक्ष्वोदार vikramam. Okay, before we get into this, we see here this is a science actually, and people of that time they knew so amazingly the classifications: subhumans, humans. Okay, those were born of embryo, so that is basically like uh, where the living entities, they are conceived on the mother's embryo, so that is one. And then those which are born of perspiration, just like bed bugs and things like that. So there are many bugs which are born of perspiration, born of sweat. And there are living entities born of eggs, and then the plants and vegetables. So all classifications. So we can imagine like 5,000 years ago, who told that our civilizations, our culture was backward. They had like botanical knowledge, such botanical and zoological knowledge, amazing knowledge they had. So they had the classifications of this is the in the learned circles, people would know all these things. So they had clear understanding of all these divisions and subdivisions of things. They were not just underdeveloped or things like that. Actually, now people have become underdeveloped. So people were highly developed in the past. Okay. Please also describe the incarnations of the material modes of nature, Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara. So that's the like Guna avatar. So avatar of passion is Brahma, and avatar of goodness is Vishnu, and avatar of ignorance is Maheshwara, or Lord Shiva. So this is like technically in Sanskrit it is called Guna avatar. And please describe the incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his magnanimous activities. So, as we had discussed, the subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam is Atra Sarga Visargascha Sthanam Poshana Mutaya Manvantara. So, that he has already asked, like different Manus, period, Manvantara, Ishanukata, no, like the different incarnations of the Lord. So, that is what now Vidura is asking Ishanukata, Nirodha Mukti Ashraya, so that we will deal with later. So that is all in relation to going back to the spiritual world. So basically, it's creation, maintenance, and the incarnations of the Lord, and then the path back to Godhead. So these are all the subject matters that are there, in the broader category. Purport. All the Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are the three incarnations of material modes of nature, are the principal deities for creation, maintenance, and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. They are not the final authority. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, is the ultimate goal, the cause of all causes. He is the ashraya, or the final rest of everything. So Nirodha Muktir Ashraya, we were mentioning that ashraya, right? So ashraya means that is the Supreme Lord Krishna. So we have to take shelter of him. So he is not into this execution and into the what is that? Logistics and things like that. So that's all done by his expansions, or like this Guna avatars and Purusha avatars, and they do all these logistical works. Krishna doesn't do any logistical work. No, he just plays his flute, and he is the ultimate Ashraya. So that's how we can find a boss actually. Boss is the one like who doesn't do any ground level work or no logistical works and things like that. Okay. Text 29. Varnashrama vibhagamscha rupashila swabhavatah rishinam janma karmani vedasya cha vikarshanam. O great sage, kindly describe the divisions and orders of human society in terms of symptoms, behavior, and the characteristics of mental equilibrium and sense control. Also, please describe the births of the great sages and the categorical divisions of the Vedas. Sorry. The four statuses and orders of human society, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, as well as the Brahmacharis, Grahasthas, Vanaprasthas, and Sannyasis, are all divisions of quality, education, culture, and spiritual advancement attained by practicing control of mind and the senses. So this is a very important thing to note. How are these divisions are made? It's based on the sense control and the knowledge. It is and the spiritual advancement that has been made. So not based on birth, not based on any other qualification. It's on the basis of the capacity to control the senses, the capacity to control the mind, and the kind of jnana that they have brought about by the process of sense control and spiritual advancement. Right. So this is how the classifications are made. Okay, all these divisions are based on the particular nature of each individual person, not on the principle of birth. Birth is not mentioned in this verse because birth is immaterial. Vidura is famous in the history as born of Shudrani mother, yet he is more than a Brahmana by qualification because he is seen here to be the disciple of a great sage Maitreya Muni. Unless one achieves at least the Brahmanical qualification, one cannot understand Vedic hymns. Mahabharata is also a division of the Vedas, but it is meant for women, Shudras, and Vijabandhus, the worthless children of the higher section, like that. So the less intelligent section of the society can avail themselves of the Vedic instruction simply by studying the Mahabharata. Okay. Text 30. Yan yajnasya cha vithanani yogasya cha patah prabho naishkarmasya cha sankyasya tantram va bhagavat smritam. Please also describe the expansions of different sacrifices and the paths of mystic powers, analytical study of knowledge, and devotional service, all with their respective regulations. Purport. The word tantram is significant herein. Sometimes tantram is misunderstood to be black spiritual science of materialistic persons engaged in sense gratification. But here Tantra means the signs of devotional service compiled by Srila Narad Muni. One can take advantage of such regulative explanations of the path of devotional service and make progressive advancement in the devotional service of the Lord. So the point is very important as Prabhupada is making. So Tantra, like generally, like Yantra, Tantra, Mantra, and things like that. So the black magic people, Tantric people like that, they call. So, but yeah, that's a black art that is there. But then the original word Tantra is used for, it is also a Vedic division. It's also kind of a compilation of procedures, which can actually help us advance in Krishna consciousness. So that is also called as tantras. So no, this is not to be misunderstood with the tantric, this one, or the black art. Okay, Sankhya philosophy is the basic principle of acquiring knowledge, as will be explained by the sage Maitreya. The Sankhya philosophy enunciated by Kapila Dev, the son of Devahuti, is the real source of knowledge about the supreme truth. Knowledge not based on Sankhya philosophy is mental speculation and can yield no tangible benefit. So, this is the basic way of understanding the spiritual knowledge. So, that is the Sankhya philosophy, that is to understand everything in its original perspective. All the different Sankhya means to count. So, means like in another way to say, it's analytical study. And in the third canto, we will be entering into Kapila Dev's pastime, where Kardama Muni, Devahuti, and the father and mother of Kapila Dev. So their pastime will come, and after that, Kapila Dev will be born, and Kapila Dev will instruct this Sankhya philosophy to his mother Devahuti. So in that way, like we can understand. So this is the basic way of understanding the spiritual science. So without that, by our own analysis of this material world, we cannot exhaustively study this world, because at every level, at micro level, if you get into atom, there is so much to explore. At the macro level, you get into the outer space, there is so much to explore. In everywhere, you have so much to explore, right? So, and it's there is no end of the this one. So there's a lot of things to study. So, but then here we see the Kapila Dev. He gives the Sankhya philosophy by understanding it from the Lord. So then we can understand it properly. By our own speculation, we will definitely go wrong. Okay, Pashanda Pata Vaishamyam Pratiloma Niveshanam Jivasya Gatayo Yascha Yavatir Gunakarmajah. Please also describe the imperfections and contradictions of the faithless atheists, the situation of cross-breeding, and the movements of the living entities in various species of life according to their particular modes of nature and work. Okay, so here we see that Pashanda means the non-believers or the atheists. So atheists are called as the Pashandi, right? And then Vaishamyam, so there is imperfections which are there. And then Pratiloma, Viloma and Pratiloma, or Aniloma and Pratiloma, like that, different, this ones are there. They are called cross-breeding, or as of now, I'm not, maybe Prabhupada is covering in the purport or not, I don't know. So in some places, we will get the detail in Bhagavatam. So if there is a man of a Brahmana class gets married to a Kshatriya woman, and then a progeny is created, so that is called by one name. And then if a woman is of higher order, if the woman is of Brahmana order, and then the man is of Kshatriya order, so then the progeny is called a different this one. So they come under Pratiloma or Viloma, like that. Different this one's names are there, for them. So like this, what is the condition of them? What kind of principles they have to follow, and there's all this detail. He's asking. It's basically like Srimad Bhagavatam is a cultural presentation. By understanding this, we can actually re-spiritualize and reculture the whole world. It has such amazing levels of knowledge. Okay, purport. The combination of living entities in different modes of material nature is called crossbreeding. The faithless atheists do not believe in the existence of God, and thus their paths of philosophy are contradictory. Atheistic philosophies never agree with one another. Different species of life are evidence of varieties of mixtures of the modes of material nature. So there is 84 lakh different species are there, and then we know this shloka is there, right? Jalaja Navalakshani. In the water, there is 9 lakh species of life is there. Stavara Laksha Vimshati. So Vimshati means 20. So Laksha Vimshati is 20 lakhs of species is there. Like that, Krimayo Rudra Sankhyaka. So that means like 11 lakh species of this ones are there. Insects and things like that. So like that Pakshinam, Dasalakshanam. So in the birds there are 10 lakh species of life is there. So like this is Prabhupada is mentioning here. We see that these different kinds of species is the evidence that there are different modes of material nature are there, and different mixtures of different modes of nature. Some percentage of goodness, some percentage of passion, some percentage of ignorance combines together to form a particular species of life. So like that 84 lakh different species of life is there. It's just combination of the three modes of nature, so that results in different species. Okay, text 32. Dharmata kama mokshanam nimittani avirodhata var uh, varthaya danda nitesh cha shutai Shutasya cha vidam pratak. You may also describe the non-contradictory cause of religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation, and also different means of livelihood and different processes of law and order, as mentioned in revealed scriptures. Okay. Shraddhasya cha vidam brahman pitri nam sargameva cha graha nakshatra taranam kalavya kalavaya samstitim. Please also explain the regulations for offering respects to the forefathers, the creation of the Pitruloka, the time of the time scheduled in the planets, stars, and luminaries, and their respective situations. Hmm. So he is just asking about all branches of study of knowledge. There is nothing is leaving purport. The time duration of day and night, as well as months and years, are different in different planets, stars, and luminaries. So this we had studied in our Gita course, how the time varies in different planets. So the time is not same in all different planets. In the heavenly planets, our 1 year is considered to be 1 day. One Uttarayana is the daytime of the Devatas, and Dakshinayana is the nighttime of the Devatas. So what we experience in our North Pole, that's what the Devatas experience in their planets as the day and night. So, but for them, that will appear like just 12 hours. And for us, it appears like one whole, 24 hours. No, that appears to us as like one whole year. No, so that's the sense of perception is also no different. And the duration is also different, right? Okay. The higher planets, like the moon and Venus, have time measurements different from those of the Earth. It is said that the 6 months of this planet Earth equals 1 day of the higher planets. In Bhagavad Gita, the duration of 1 day in the Brahma Loka is measured to be Sahasra Yuga Paryantam, right? So that is 1,000 times of the 4 yugas, that is 4,32,000, 4 lakh. So for 43 lakh years. 4 lakh 32,000 years is the Kali Yuga's time, and then into 10 is the time of Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. Because twice of Kali Yuga is Dwapara, thrice of Kali Yuga is Treta, and 4 times of Kali Yuga is Satya. So 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 becomes 10. So like 10 times of the Kali Yuga is the entire 4 yugas. So, and such 1,000 yugas, such 1,000 cycles happen in 1 day of Brahma. So that is the measurement of 1 day of Brahma, right? So, and the months, years multiplied by 1,000, and the month and year in Brahma Loka are calculated in that measure. So 12, 30 days and then 12 months, like that. So it is calculated like that. Okay, text 34. Dhanasya tapo vapi yacheshta putra yo phalam pravisha pravasha stasya yo dharmo yascha pumsa utapadi. Please also describe the fruitive results of charity and penance and of digging reservoirs of water. Please describe the situation of persons who are away from home and also the duty of a man in an awkward position. Apad dharma. Okay. So, purport. The digging of reservoirs of water for public use is a great work of charity, and retiring from family life after 50 years of age is an act of penance performed by sober human being. Okay, text 35. Yena va bhagavam stushed dharma yonir janardana samprasidat hi vayesham etad akyahi menaga. O sinless one, because the personality of Godhead, the controller of all living entities, is the father of all religion, and all those who are candidates for religious activities, kindly describe how he can be completely satisfied. Okay, so now we see Vidura is asking question after question after question. No, the Maitreya Muni must be like really, really a genius and really a very powerful person to remember all these questions and to answer them all in in the course of time. It takes a huge section of the middle portion of Bhagavatam is the discussion between Maitreya and Vidura. So this canto full, rest of the third canto full, it will be like Maitreya Vidura Samvad. And even in the fourth canto also, like you'll find the same discussion going on. So it's like huge set of chapters and cantos are dedicated for this discussion between Maitreya and Vidura. This forms very, very solid foundational principles. And practically we see that sages and rishis and munis, like these people were the authorities. These people would know what needs to be done in what situation. So now we have laws, law books and things like that. So in the past, like people had these sages, and they would be learned in the scriptures, and they would advise the kings and the citizens accordingly. And people, anytime they would have any problem, any questions, any confusion, what they need to do in their life, they would just simply consult. And one very important thing is, whatever the decision has been given, they would just simply follow. No, in Kali Yuga, it is very, very difficult. This thing. Now, people sometimes like to consult, but then they have their idea, so they just want to do their whatever their idea is. They don't want to follow what the sadhus are telling. So they just simply want to come and inquire. And if the sadhu is telling in a different way, they'll try to find another sadhu who will endorse what they want. And they will just find their way to do whatever they want. So in Kali Yuga, it's very, very difficult. So people don't have that level of surrender, to just go and inquire and just to follow. They are very complicated. Kali Yuga people are quite complicated. Okay. So here we see that how the Lord can be pleased. That is asked of here. Purport: all religious activities are meant ultimately to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord is the father of all religious principles. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:16, four kinds of pious men, the needy, the distressed, the enlightened, and the inquisitive, approach the Lord in devotional service. And their devotion is mixed with material affection. But above them are the pure devotees whose devotion is not tainted by any material tinges of fruitive work or speculative knowledge. Those who are only miscreants throughout their lives are compared to demons. They are bereft of all knowledge in spite of any academic, educational career they may pursue. Such miscreants are never candidates for satisfying the Lord. So material education is not at all regarded as a very important thing. So that is not considered to be knowledge also. Knowledge means to know the difference between body and soul, like to understand that we are part and parcel of the Lord, and we are meant to serve the Lord, and the ways and means in which we can serve the Lord. So this essentially constitutes the knowledge. And the material knowledge, is not a very great thing. In fact, it is mentioned as asuric, so demoniac knowledge, which is only teaching us how to exploit this world, how to plunder this world, and how to use it for sense gratification. That's the essence of the modern education. So it is actually a demoniac education. Text 36. Anuvrathanam Sishyanam Putranam cha Dvijotama Anaprishtam api bruyur Guravo Deenavatsalah. O best among the Brahmanas, those who are spiritual masters are very kind to the needy, Deenavatsala. They are always kind to their followers, disciples, and sons, and without being asked by them, the spiritual master describes all that is knowledge. Purport. There are many subjects to be known from the bona fide spiritual master. The followers, disciples, and sons are all on one level for bona fide spiritual master, and he is always kind to them and always speaks to them on transcendental subjects, even though he is not asked by them. That is the nature of a bona fide spiritual master. Vidura appealed to Maitreya Muni to speak on subjects about which he might not have asked. So, like this is icing on the cake. He's telling that he has asked so many questions, and then he's telling you are a very amazing spiritual master. So you should tell whatever I have asked for, and in case if I have missed something, please tell me about that also. No, that is the essence of this question. Text 37. Tatvanam bhagavam stesham katida prati sankramaha tatremam ka upas siran ka usvid anusherathe. Please describe how many dissolutions there are for the elements of the material nature, and who survives after the dissolutions to serve the Lord while he is asleep. So now here we see that there are many different kinds of dissolutions are there. So there are different kinds of annihilations are there. So one is at the end of the cycle of the four yugas. No, there is some kind of a partial destruction that happens, and then at the end of life of the Manu. So when a Manu changes, so then the destruction happens till the point of heavenly planets, and then at the end of the day of Brahma, and at the end of the life of Brahma, there are so many different dissolutions are there, and who survives these things, and how the next creation starts, and things like that. So this is like kind of sandhi, the sandhi of different creations. Like the sandhi means the middle point, no, the when the previous creation ends, and then there is a dissolution, and then the next creation starts. So there must be some root for the next creation to start. No, how will it start otherwise, right? So if it is if a particular object or a signal is being sent, and it cannot go for a long distance, no, it'll no, the signal becomes weak, then we need to use repeaters or amplifiers or things like that. So then the signal continues to go. So the Lord kickstarted the whole creation, and then the whole creation is going on, and it cannot stop anywhere. So if we don't see the Lord coming and starting it again, kickstarting it again. So there is a format in which the creation actually continues. So how is that continues? No, how is this dissolution happens? Who survives? No, in this dissolutions, and how the further activities, how the further activities are taken care of. Okay, purport. In Brahma Samhita 5:47-48, it is said that all the material manifestations with innumerable universes appear and disappear with the breathing of Mahavishnu lying in Yoga Nidra or mystic sleep. Ya Karanarnava Jale Bhajatim Sma Yoga Nidram Ananta Jagadanda Saroma Kupa Andantarastham, Adara Shaktim Avalambya Param Swamurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yashaika Nishvashita Kala Matavalambya Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadandanata Vishtur Mahan Saihayasya Kala Vishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So we have often discussed these slokas many times. So this is from Brahma Samhita, which gives very, very clear picture of this, how the initial portion of the creation started. So let's see the translation. Govinda, the ultimate and supreme personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, lies sleeping unlimitedly on the causal ocean in order to create ultimate number of universes during the sleep. He lies on the water by his own internal potency, and I worship that original supreme Godhead. Due to his breathing, innumerable universes comes into existence, and when he withdraws his breath, there occurs the dissolution of the lords of the universes. That plenary portion of the Supreme Lord is called Mahavishnu, Vishud Mahan Saiha Yasha Kala Vishesha. And Kala Vishesha means he is the part of Lord Krishna. I worship Govinda, the original Lord. Right? So Lord Brahma is offering such prayers. So he's telling that no, what is his position? His position is he can live only till the Mahavishnu's breathing period. No, is there. So once the Mahavishnu inhales, Brahma is also gone. No, okay. After the dissolution of material manifestations, the Lord and his kingdom beyond the causal ocean do not disappear, nor do the inhabitants, the Lord's associates. The associates of the Lord are far more numerous than the living entities who have forgotten the Lord due to material association. So, what is this associates of Lord? They are the residents of Vaikuntha. So, they are far more greater in number than the people in the material world. So, the impersonalist explanation of the word aham in the four verses of the original Bhagavatam, aham eva, sameva, gre, etc., is refuted here. The Lord and his eternal associates remain after the dissolution. So, like in the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, we saw the first sloka. The Lord says, that only I existed before the creation, and then during the creation also I am the one who's existing, and after the creation is finished, I'll be the one who will be existing. So this is in relation to the material world, and in the spiritual world, there is all the time the devotees of the Lord, the Vaikuntha Vasis. They are always there, so they are not distracted. So in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna mentions that natad bhashayate shuryo na sashankana pavakah yadkatvana nivartante taddama paramam. Okay, not this shloka, another shloka, I am not able to remember it now. There he mentions that my place or my abode is not destroyed when this world is destroyed. So he mentions a shloka like that. So I'm not able to remember it exactly now, but then that is the this version of the Lord. So disillusion is only for the material world, and spiritual world doesn't go through this creation and destruction. Okay, the Lord and his eternal associates remain after the dissolution. Vidura's inquiry about such persons is a clear indication of the existence of all the paraphernalia of the Lord. This is also confirmed in the Kashi Kanda, as quoted by both Jiva Goswami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who follows in the footsteps of Srila Sridhar Swami. Na च वर्ते hi yad bhakta mahatyam pralayapadi atochyuto kile loke sa eka sarva gho vyayah. The devotees of the Lord never annihilate their individual existence, not even after the dissolution of the entire cosmic manifestation. The Lord and the devotees who associate with him are always eternal in both the material and spiritual worlds. Okay. So with this, we will pause here for today. Since it is festival day, like we are trying to do some flower decorations and some decorations for the Lord today. So I'll have to go to assist them. So thank you all for joining. And today is, according to Vaishnav calendar, it's Diwali today, and then the Damodar Leela pastime actually happened on this day. And we had a very, very wonderful narration of Damodar Leela pastime in the morning. Some of you had joined and relished that pastime. And tomorrow is going to be Govardhan Puja. And Govardhan Puja is very special. On this day, Lord Krishna lifts Govardhan Hill, and he protects all the Vrajavasis. So we don't have a celebration in the center, but we are going to our parent temple, Narsimha Giridhari Mandir, where we will be like having a huge celebration there. And then so we will have our regular afternoon session, and after that, if somebody is interested to go to the temple, so I can give some directions like how to go. So it will be very nice and nice celebration. But of course, we have to take care of the precautions, health precautions, right? So thank you all very much for joining. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Kartik Month ki jai, Hari Bol. Krishna.